she is able to penetrate. Okay. Now she has asked a very good question or statement. It's not a question. That she has to decide now on Dhatu, or should she go with the meditation? Which one? For the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, so that's a topic. Am I right in understanding me?
Yes, so I'm trying to decide, do I go with the breath? Actually, today I've been playing around with the different Dhatu meditation, whether it's from the breath, because I can do it with the breath, and I can do it just by the way you say, like a puppet show, where you can just see it as just the four elements moving, and you can almost watch it like it's almost like a video game. You can see these hands are doing this and that. But I was wondering, now what do I do? Or do I just go with just plain Anapana, plain breath? But yeah, so it's hard to decide which one do I do, dedicate myself to.
Okay, very nice. Now I have some questions. Okay. Have you seen anywhere in the Buddha teaching he promoting breath meditation?
The Anapana?
Anapana is not breath meditation.
No.
That's a misunderstanding what we get. If you look at Anapana Sutta, there is nothing to do with breath meditation at all. Only you start with breath. Just because you start with breath, some traditions take it like a completely breath meditation. No, it's not true. Now, is breath meditation an important aspect? And the answer is yes. Can it take to some levels? What I was saying to you is, let's say I'm a normal worldling, normal person, and I've come on the Buddha teachings. If I follow a Burmese tradition or a Thai tradition, a Sri Lankan tradition, some other tradition, and I do the breath meditation, the advantage I'm going to get is that I am reborn as a human being. I would have exited from being born in an existence which is called as apaya, danger. Isn't it a good thing to do? And the answer is yes. So it requires. Because I don't know currently whether I'm a Sotapanna or a Sakadagami or whatever that is. I have no idea how to know it also, except for theoretically reading somewhere. But there's no one who can tell me whether I'm a Sotapanna or a Sakadagami or whatever. So then what I should do? Follow the tradition. Okay. Now let's say I'm able to discern, as indicated in the sutta, on the dhatu or on the ayatana, because that is the teaching of the Buddha, not the breath meditation. If we are thinking breath meditation is itself Buddha Dhamma, then it is wrong. But breath meditation is 100% required because it connects the body and the mind. To that extent, it is required. But is not substitute to dhatu or to ayatana and all that. No, never a substitute. So if my interest is, okay, why I should go higher, it's okay. I'm happy wherever I am, then no problem. Then forever I can work on the breath meditation, reborn in a good existence, and that's it. Over, case closed. But if my intent is not to be born in human realm itself, or to that matter, any womb existence itself, and then I have to come out of breath meditation. Why? It's because without understanding the dhatu, how will I let go of the kama, chanda and vyapada? I should have a disgusted feeling created as indicated in the Satipatthana Sutta, which again talks about dhatu in different ways. So when you take the particular manasikara, it is again dhatu only. He is giving you further more details on that. When you go to the dhatu, anyway, it's a dhatu. When you take the charnel ground meditation, again it's to remove kamachanda. Otherwise, there was no need for Buddha to give these three things. He could have been good with saying that, you know what, this is the breath and that's it, over, done. That doesn't mean that the Four Noble Truths are not seen in breath. It is true. Because without Four Noble Truths, how can you be knowing a Sotapanna? That's true. So, majority of the traditions, or majorly the traditional, including Buddha Gosa, Visuddhi Magga, and all of that, they cater to the lowest strata because you should be a Sotapanna to cut the apaya, which is the main thing that has to be done. That's correct. That has to be done. So I should ensure for myself, knowing clearly that I'm a Sotapanna. For that, whether I go with Ajan tradition, this tradition, that tradition, whatever it is, it's okay. It's okay. Because in whichever tradition I do, whether it's a Goenka or Ubakin, Sayadaw, Pa or tradition, now whatever tradition, we can have n number of traditions and n number of Bhantes and Theros and Ajans and then the Sayadaws and all of that. They're doing a tremendous job by sharing the Dhamma. This is first thing, first. Will I be reborn in a bad existence? That's the fear. That has to be addressed. So isn't it prudent for me to get into the breath meditation? Yes. No need with dhatu and all that is advanced, not required. Able to hear, see, nothing?
No, when you're doing this, you are frozen.
You're on mute.
When you're doing this, you are frozen. So whatever you are saying when you're doing this.
Now is it okay? Okay. This is office, so the network has become bad. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is that whichever tradition we are following, the first thing, the first and foremost thing is to cut from reborn in the bad realms and bad existence, even if the human realm. So, sincere gratefulness, gratitude to all the teachers of all the traditions without defaming in whatever way, whether it's right or wrong or whatever it is. We should take it. It can be anyone, doesn't matter. But we need to remember that is not an end by itself, it is just a means to an end. Just like in one sutta, Buddha explains that if somebody comes to him and he says that there is no pleasure in the senses, he says, I wouldn't agree with him that there is no pleasure in the senses, but I would tell him that the pleasure in the senses is very short. And if someone were to come to me and say, in the first jhana, the pleasure is higher, I tend to agree with him, but I tend to disagree with him if he says that's all what it is. Like that, he goes on to the 8th jhana also. So, what is the indication then from the Buddha? is that they're all means to an end, not an end by itself. Right? So we shouldn't be taking it that way. But that doesn't mean that we should drop it off completely, saying that it is stupid then. So then there's nothing called breath meditation. I don't want to do it. No, that's wrong. But we need to know this is just a step forward. Once you are in step forward, drop it. No requirement now. Yes, May.
It's actually very interesting you said that, because I thought about that today. I tried, well, maybe I will just do the plain breath meditation. I thought that's very calming. But then I thought, well, I don't know how you're supposed to, again, I was thinking, how do you cut off, the Kamachanda, Vyapada, everything? I thought you can't really get anything else with just the breath. You might notice like your emotions and things. You might be more aware with sati, but otherwise, yes, cutting the other things was difficult. But now I think because I've been doing the the dhatu in the breath, when I come back to the breath, I can't do a normal breath. I just notice the dhatus in the breath.
Yeah. So in the same way, when we do the dhatu in the breath, that is just a means to an end. By itself is not an end. Now we have to expand it beyond the breath to the whole body itself. I mean, that is not an end by itself, it's just a means to an end. Right? And then I have to start doing it with others, bahidda. It's again a means to an end, not by an end itself. Then I have to dissolve the inner, internal, and external. That's still a means to an end, not an end by itself. Then I have to let go of it completely. Patinisagga, letting go. Still a means to an end, not an end by itself. So when I completely given up, then it is ended. So Nibbana is something of non-grasping. Anything else is just grasping. Right? So either we grasp to the breath, we grasp to this, we grasp to that, we grasp to that, grasp to that, grasp to that, all in Buddha Dhamma only, but still it is grasping. It is better grasping than the sensual grasping. Agreed, but still it's grasping. So getting rid of grasping is Nibbana. Now, how do I do it? And what should I do it? If I am taking breath, fine, no issues. But if I want to take dhatu, no breath. Shouldn't be mixing two things. Yes, initially to get the mind going, some breath meditation, watching the dhatu in the breath. Once you've done that, drop the breath, drop the dhatu also in the breath, because there are preliminary stages. It doesn't lead higher by itself. It only gets you to the vipassana. And now you have to do vipassana and then go into anupassana. If I'm only in samatha, it's good, but it's not an end by itself. It's just a means to an end. If I'm only in vipassana, no, sorry. You have understood the paticcasamuppada, but what about coming out of it? Anupassana. That is required. So only when samatha, vipassana, anupassana develops, you can see what should be seen. And now the question comes, what will be seen? Yatha bhuta. Yatha is as it is. Bhuta is how it has become. You can see how the 5 elements have become vilas. Is that more important, or is just breath is more important? Just check. If I know vilas, Breath is already included in that. If I know the breath, vilas is never experienced. Then how would I get into Nibbana? Because it's conditioned. Which is conditioned? Vilas is conditioned experience. Breath meditation also is conditioned experience. Dhatu is also conditioned experience. Ayatana is also conditioned experience. So all are conditioned experience, Sankata only. And the Nibbana is unconditioned. That means you don't have to put any effort for a Nibbana. For others, you have to put effort. Aren't you putting effort on your breath meditation? You are. Then is that Nibbana? No. If you put effort for an effort, then there is no Nibbana. It's just effortless. Yes, me.
So it's. I just want to clarify something. Like today, so what happened was when I was doing the dhatu in the breath, and naturally it moves to the body, and then I thought, oh no, am I supposed to be bringing a bit back to the breath? No, let it go to the body and see the dhatus in the body or whatever it's doing. Then when it goes to the body.
Yes.
Yes.
You can do. See, don't have to stick to the breath. Just open up, be an observer. Let it take over. Let it take over in wherever. Now, right now, as I speak, I'm having a real blissful experience because I've brought that to whatever I'm speaking. So I don't have to sit and watch the breath now, nor I have to sit and do the dhatu because I'm seeing dhatu everywhere, basically. Ayatana is a field. Does the eye have a field? Yes. And does the object also has a field? Yes. Has a sound has a field? Yes. Has the ear has a field? Yes. Like that. And only when the sound and the ear are brought about through a conscious experience that I come into existence and say that I am hearing. So when you're talking, I'm getting conscious of what you're saying. And that's it. Sound comes, sound goes. Can I see that? Yes. Wow. It's such a blissful feeling because there is no I in that, there is no mine in that, there is no me in that, there is no Ariu in that, there's nothing else in that. So I didn't have anyone to gain, to lose anyone. The sound came and sound left. And the sight came and sight left. And same with other four. So what did I do now? I just now did Indriya Samvara while talking to you. So can't I be Nibbana? Yes. Even when talking to you. So I don't have to sit in one cave and do this. Hey, come on, watch the breath. Come on, Vilas, please watch the breath. You are not watching the breath. Yes, that is required when I am yet to achieve a Sotapatti. Or wait. Okay. Now is it come? Okay, good. So
You were saying it's required until you reach Sotapatti.
yes. So when should I watch the breath? When my mind is disturbed. What do you mean disturbed? Let's put a couple of examples from our everyday life. Now I'll put a recent example. I'm getting worked up with a product. Not able to sleep, not able to be comfortable. And all the time I'm thinking and thinking and thinking. What I should do? Watch the breath. No, Dhatu. No, sorry, sir. You are not in a position to do Dhatu. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got worked up. Now, Aryu might be thinking, if our teacher is so brilliant, then why is he messaging me so much of information? Well, I am sharing information because it's making more prudence so that we don't do this mistake again. And we take time. We take time before we do something. That's the reason. But is it hurting me or is it hurting Aryu? If yes, if it is becoming painful to me or to Aryu, then what we should do? Watch the breath only. Nothing else. No dhatu, no ayatana, nothing. Come back to breath. Be an observer of the breath. Then what happens? Then that feeling comes out in open. That feeling, Vedana, comes out. It's not your Vedana or my Vedana, just the Vedana. And what Vedana will come? Dukkha Vedana will come out. So you are allowing that Dukkha Vedana to come out. Otherwise, I am bottling it up by bringing in more and more and more concepts into the mind. So the moment I feel disturbed, close the eyes, watch the breath. Not able to watch the breath, it is even more becoming harder. Then do Buddho. In breath, Buddho, out breath, Buddho, or whatever. Doesn't matter. Why? Because its mind is agitated. Now, in that scenario, the dhatu or the vipassana or this or that doesn't work. So I need to know what tool to use when I am in what state, right? I can't be applying the same medicine for all kind of ailments. I have to change the medicine based upon whatever it is. So I change the medicine. That doesn't mean that I use the same medicine even if I am healthy and hale and healthy, I start using the medication. No. So the breath meditation or the ayatana or this or that should not be used like one ritual. I need to know. Oh, I am uneasy, feeling uneasy. You will know you are feeling uneasy. The heartbeats will increase. There's something happening. Watch the breath. Simple. Not happening. Buddha. That's how we have to do it. There's nothing wrong with that technique. It's a very good technique. We need that. Why? Because unless we are arhat, this problem is going to be there. Not much, but yes, still yes, it is. Because we are dealing with the world. And world is made out of senses. So obviously, you require medication. Arhat doesn't require anything. But I am not an arhat. Knowing very well. Don't act like an arhat. Apply the medicine. Don't feel shy of applying the medication. So what medicine should I apply? Well, whenever you're feeling like, let me give a call to Apple, watch the breath. Don't forget to watch the breath. Aryu is not going through this pain. But the person who has got it is going through the pain. Why? Because the thing is not working. Why it should work? If that question is asked. Because somebody has donated. That's the highest thing. If somebody has bought it just for fun, no problem. But donation shouldn't be wasted. Somebody might have good amount of money, less amount of money, but donation is donation. That's the highest thing. This is the dana. Shouldn't be wasted. So should I get agitated? No. Should I be concerned? Yes. And when I am concerned, what happens? The sankharas are created. And when the sankharas are created, they have an ability to take over. Why? Because I'm still a sekkha, learner. I'm still a learner in the Dhamma. I'm not a learned, an arhat. I have no idea how an arhat would have done this if it had happened to him. I can imagine. No, that's trash. One second. Hello. Okay. So, yes. Yes. No, I just said shouldn't be imagined. It's trash. Just yes, you can. But you know what? The space between an anagami and an arhat is very small. So manyana, something. If you look at Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta also, he explains to Pokkarasati. One thing you should stop is manyana. Manyana involves three things. One is to consider, another one is to imagine that is how it is, and three, believing that this is what you will get. Okay, and like in the MN1, right, the Mula Paryaya Sutta, he uses the same manyana everywhere. Okay, so, and he says manyana, gando, sallo, like that. Why? And I can exactly tell you what's the difference. Now we'll take this laptop example. If I consider it is unreal, also is a problem. If I consider it as real, also is a problem. If I conceptualize on that, also is a problem. If I don't conceptualize, also is a problem. Now, if I'm an arhat, what would happen? There's no concept. But for the sake of it, he will create concept. Why? Otherwise, you can't deal with the world. But he knows he has created the concept. Whereas in my case, I know I've created a concept, but I might forget it. Because sati will not be remaining as strong as an arhat. Then what happens? It gets sucked. Sucked in the sense, I will not get vyapada and all that. But there is an irritation. You can sense the irritation. But sati, even though weak, what will happen is you will automatically come to the breath. Because you can see that it is shaking, there's something happening, so you can come back to breath. In few moments, not even closing the eyes, after 5, 10, 15, whatever that minutes can be, created by whoever, I will go with that. Now the mind is calm. Throw it. Throw it means keep it aside. Now take dhatu. Because that is there in Sutta. Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta. So you are on pure Buddha Dhamma now. Then you finished it. Thank you. Come to Salayatana. Because in Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta, Buddha explains how the Nibbana is experienced. I would go by that. Because it is not only established in the Sutta, meaning I can refer it back and say that yes.
Do you have to break all the dhatus before you can do the ayatana?
Again, I said step by step. If you combine with ayatana and dhatu, you're going to get muddled up. Why? Because there should be a reduction of kama, chanda and vyapada. Meaning you should be sakadagami at least to get into deeper aspect of ayatana. Now you might ask a question. Does that mean Sotapanna wouldn't have known this? He does. Because the 5 aggregates includes everything. It includes the dhatu, it includes the ayatana. Both are there. Isn't it or not? He would have penetrated, but the penetration is very less. Does that mean Sakadagami penetrates more? Obviously. Why? Because his Kamachanda and Vyapada, you see, is reduced. Anāgami will do it even more because there is no Kamachanda and Vyapada at all. Can be seen. And what does Arath do? Close the sense doors. Done. He's living dead. We are deadly living, he is living dead. That's all. So what is deathless? Death is to the senses. One who has gone beyond the senses, where will the death come? That's it. So now you tell me, May, if you say, I will combine both Dhatu and Ayatana, is it possible?
I don't know. No?
No, it can't. See, if you do dhite dhite mattam, sute sute mattam, mute mute mattam, vinyate vinyate mattam, where will the dhatu exist? Where will the breath be? It's all included already. So there's nothing called that you will combine this dhatu with this and complete this and go there and nothing like. There's no going and coming also. That's the reason what he say. He says it, right? Neither here nor there nor in between. Na idha, na hura, na ubhayam antare. Correct? Yes. You wanted to, you raise a hand or?
Because to see clearly, like to see the scene as the same, you would have to have kind of penetrated the dhatus deeply to see it as it truly is.
Now,
Yeah.
let me answer to this. Dhatu as in what? What it has become to, or rather how it has become. The Mahabhuta, Patvi, doesn't remain as Patvi forever. It will transform itself into Apo. Apo doesn't stay as Apo forever. It will transform itself into Tejo. Tejo doesn't remain Tejo forever. It will transform itself into Vayu. And Vayu doesn't transform itself or not stay like that forever. It will transform itself into Akasa. How? Can you give me an example? Take an example of a ice. You have seen ice, I have seen ice, have you seen ice? Why the ice happened? Because the water condensed. Isn't it solid? Yes. Isn't it hard? Yes. Isn't it heavy? Yes. If you throw water at somebody, the person might not get injured. If you throw the ice at somebody, he will get injured. But earlier it was water. But now it is ice. Did water disappear? No. Is water stored within ice? Yes. That means, did Apo transform itself into Patavi? Yes. Wow. Now, heat it up. What happens? Does Patavi remain as Patavi? No. Does it remain as Apo? No. It becomes hot. Water becomes hot. That means the temperature was already there within water. Yes. Now you keep on boiling water. The water starts to recede. What happens? Steam is part of what? Vayu. After some time, there is nothing there in that cup or mug or whatever you have kept for boiling. Where did it go? It went into space. Right? Proof? So can you now rely on Patavi? No. Can you rely on Apo? No. Can you rely on Tejo? No. Vayu? No. You can't rely on anyone. Why? They get formed. Bhuta. How it has come to be. So can I rely on May? You see this? Can I rely on May? No. Can I rely on Aryu then? No. Can I rely on myself then? No. Why? All the three dhatus are the same. Right? Is there any stability here? No. Isn't it anicca nature? Yes. Now, this state of mind is the state of Anāgami. Why? He can see the dhatu in its original form. So the Kamachanda and Vyapada is not there. What will this person have Kamachanda for Patavi? You tell me. Or for Apo, or for Tejo, or for Vayu, or for Akas. Can I apply this on laptop? Yes. Can I apply this on this laptop where I am doing this? Yes. Can I do the same thing on the wall? Can I then remove the Ajjatta Bahidda? Yes. Can you stay in this state forever? No. That's the difference between an Arhat and an Anāgami. If I could stay in this state forever, as I'm speaking right now, if this state can be maintained completely for 7 full days, Arhat. That's all. What happens to Ayatana? Gets closed. How? What are you seeing? 5 elements. What are you hearing? 5 elements. What are you tasting? 5 elements. What are you touching? 5 elements. What are you thinking? 5 elements. With 5 elements gone from the mind, virajati, will anything be sensed? No. So what happened to the perception? Gone. What happened to the feeling? Gone. And with feeling and perception not being there, can anything be said to exist and not exist? Or both exist and both doesn't exist? Sometime exists, sometime doesn't exist. All these are fabrication. So, Nibbana is experienced right here, right now, as I speak. For that, I don't have to do Buddha. Okay, this is breath in, breath out, breath this one, that one. Oh, I need to read this, I need to see this, blah, blah. All that is not required. But isn't it required? It is definitely required. There is one another sutta between Sariputta and there's another Thero where he gives why should you practice Buddha Dhamma. So then he starts with Sila Visuddhi, then Kankha Visuddhi, this Visuddhi, that Visuddhi, and Sariputta keeps on asking, and that monk keeps on saying no, 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 no. Then he says, that means these are not required. He says, yes, 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 yes. Then he says, first time I asked you, you said no. The second time I asked you, you say yes. I am confused now. Then he says, you are following Buddha Dhamma for letting go, not for grasping. So what am I letting go? The 5 dhatus. Where are they stored? In the ayatana. So if you ask me, should I first practice ayatana or the dhatu? My answer would be practice the dhatu. If you were to ask me between the breath and the dhatu, which one should I practice? I would say that practice the breath. So if you are able to get established in the breath, you have done the first level of the game. Like it is a video game. And Aryu has been playing a lot of games earlier. So he knows there are 3 lives with us, 3 levels. Okay. So the first level is breath. Does that end the game? Then comes to second level, which is difficult. Dhatu. Oh, you've done this. Then come to the most difficult level. Is ayatana. You done it? Sure. Why? I'm meeting an arhat. Now what gets established? 6 senses. Now 6 senses are closed, means where will get established? Nowhere. Shouldn't I prostrate to this great being who has come out of dukkha? I think I should. Because I'm just an Anāgami. Yes, sir.
One question. So, from Sotapanna to Anāgami, Dhatu is the main step, right? So, to which extent the Dhatu should be broken down for Sakadagami to happen? So, is there a checkpoint in this discernment of Dhatu that
To what point is that you have let go, you can see the possessive nature. The mind was possessing. It's let go of that possession. The Nama Rupa still exists, but the possession feeling is not there. You can see it for yourself. There's no possessing nature. Possessing as a family, possessing as a wife or husband or daughter or son or job or whatever. You can see it for yourself that the Dhatu meditation, bhavana has helped you to reduce the kamachanda and the vyapada. Yes, go ahead.
But it's through Dhatu only.
Yes, it's still Dhatu. Even an Anāgami is still Dhatu, and he would have discerned more of Ayatana, but not completely. Yes.
And the Sotapanna may not have penetrated into Dhatu at all.
May or may not.
Or may not.
Because his Kamachanda and Vyapada are intact. Right. Like in the case of Visakha, she got married. She had 20 children after being a Sotapanna. If she was seeing everything as a Dhatu, I don't think so she would have been able to have an intercourse with her husband. And she had 20 children, not one. Right? It's recorded in the Sutta itself. In the theory Gatha also it is there. Why that? There is this. Yeah, sorry. You finish with your question.
I was just asking. I mean, the mind gets purified in different ways, right? So, I guess maybe let's say I don't understand Dhatu, right? But let's say from our discussion on this feminine, masculine, I can start seeing it's like a fabrication like this. So to some extent, the kamachanda would be reducing, right? It may not be Dhatu.
What you do is by doing that, the indriya, or looking at Purisa indriya and the Iti indriya, you have again discerned the dhatu, but you might not know you have discerned the dhatu. That's still possible. See, with panya, it's called panya vimukti, right? You don't have to have cheto vimukti, you can have a panya vimukti. What it means? You understand what should be understood. You need not have to remove the 5 elements from the mind, from the chitta. Right? There's no need.
Because I mean, at least fairly intellectually, I can understand these men and women are fabrications. All right, they're like perversions.
I got it. Intellectually, you understand that intellectually, when you understand and test litmus.
But Sakaragami will not pass this test to good extent. No.
Just imagine, wrong word to use is imagine. You have an idea of woman, right? You have some idea how she should look, and the same female comes. That's a test.
But to this extent, Sakaragami, does he succeed in some level with this?
He would have succeeded. I'm not saying it's reduced. So what does Buddha say? It's reduced. Anāgami is not at all there.
I guess from this particular test, there's no black and white failure for Sakaragami but for possessiveness there will be a test where she can.
He will not be possessive of that woman. See, possession is different. That lustful look or that interest for sensual enjoyment is different. Right? He will not possess her. But he is pulled by her looks. Anāgami, what would happen? He would see, he sees a danger, so there is nothing happening. Then starts with karuna, because he sees that this woman is doing so many sankharas which are a waste. So when he sees that, the interest itself is not there. Chanda is interest, kama is sensuality. So there's no vyapada. Then he has metta for her. He sees her as 5 dhatus in real sense, and hence he sees himself in her, and hence there is metta for her. And then there is mudita, and he sees as dhatu, so the karuna comes. Then he sees himself in her, metta comes. If she talks something on Dhamma, she realizes and she said, oh shit, it looks so worse. Why? How did I strip like this? And then he say, here is your dress. Why don't you wear it? So that becomes mudita. He feels joyous. Why? Because she was doing something like an animal. Now he feels so glad. Oh, she saved herself. That sati came, that she is nude. Or if she is doing some vulgar things with her body, he is in upekha, equanimous. This is what would be the state of an Anāgami.